3 years later, Vincent DiPietro, an electrical engineering consultant for NASA, heard about the photo and retrieved it from the archives at NASA's Goddard Space Center.
When I saw this face, I said, this is just incredible. Everything appeared to look like a face that was carved. If this could be shown that this was really an artifact of civilization that may have existed on Mars, it would be a great discovery. I was just curious to find out what this thing was.
DiPietro and his colleagues were able to enhance the picture through their own image processing techniques. The results brought out features in the Viking photograph never seen before. It revealed an object 1.5 miles long and 1 mile wide that appeared out of place in the desert region of Cydonia. Calling out for explanation, the face drew interest to other mysterious landforms nearby.
In that area, there are some dozen or more objects that have what we call anomalous character. In other words, they're puzzling. They may be a form of very exotic and different and unusual geology, but even if that's what they are, they deserve closer look.
What if this is a sign of past intelligent life? Some believe this is the case because of the geometric alignment to other objects. As they see it, the first visible sign of intelligence on Earth would be the calculated patterns of our own creations. Observing a particular geometric configuration, as in Cydonia, in their view, raises the suspicion of intelligent origin. Could there have been a Martian civilization, as Percival Lowell envisioned?
If you had let's say 4 billion years of abundant liquid water on the surface of Mars, then there is time for evolutionary processes to occur on Mars, similar to Earth. You could posit a parallel evolution of life on Mars and Earth with advanced life forms.
If the face on Mars and the related structures prove to be artificial, they might be relics of an extinct civilization.
What might be the relationship between our own species and this civilization on Mars? Could we be somehow related to them? Are we their descendants? Because obviously they would be much older than we are. Those structures are ancient, if they are artificial. So this would raise a lot of questions for me and for perhaps all of us, really, about where we come from.
To some, the face of Cydonia is the central, unresolved mystery of Mars today. In 1992, NASA launched a new Mars probe to take additional pictures of this region at a higher resolution than anything Viking sent back. This would be the space agency's genuine effort to once and for all resolve this matter.
If this would turn out to be that it was actually carved by some intelligent race of beings, I would have at least satisfied my curiosity to have found out when no one else apparently was interested in looking at this picture in the detail that we've looked at it.
Vincent DiPietro and others continue to bring the mystery of Cydonia to the world's attention, all the while wondering if anyone is listening.
Are you tired of struggling with hot wax and ingrown hairs? Then stop. Is Razor
into space, but not without its consequences. In 1992, the Observer probe, the most advanced and expensive mission ever to Mars, was aimed to map 99% of the planet's surface. It would resolve the mystery of Cydonia once and for all. Just 3 days before reaching the Red Planet, the Observer fell mysteriously silent. The $1 billion Martian probe was never heard from again. Russia's Mars 96 probe also ended in failure. It followed a series of no less than 17 Russian missions that never made it to Mars. Despite these devastating setbacks, our drive to conquer space and ultimately Mars, moves relentlessly forward. The space program is using cutting-edge technology to achieve this objective.
The direction of space exploration at NASA today is robotic exploration of our solar system and the human experiments and development of space.
At the Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, California, engineers and
imagination. It has nothing whatever to do with biology. It has nothing whatever to do with ancient civilizations. It's simply a chance landform.
Whether or not Surveyor will resolve this mystery remains to be seen. For the greater importance of Cydonia lies not in what is discovered there, but rather to remind us that we may not be alone.
Earth is making enough to retire.
4 decades ago, we began to venture away from our home planet to study other worlds. Since then, a quiet shift in NASA's approach to space exploration has taken place, beginning with the planet Mars.
The emphasis was on understanding the geology, the geophysics, the climate of the atmosphere of Mars, a fairly well-rounded scientific program. But now I think looking for life has moved up to the head of the line. I think the program that NASA has right now, the #1 priority is to try to establish whether or not there has been life on Mars in the past and whether there's still life there.
Scientists now agree that if life emerged on Mars, it was in the distant past, some 4 billion years ago.
There have been areas identified where there seemed to be evidence of ancient shorelines, suggesting that there were lakes present for a significant period of time. If an organism was fossilized on the surface of Mars, say 3.5 to 4 billion years ago, there's a very high probability that fossil is still waiting there for us to find it.
Mars started out as a fairly nice place to live, once flowing with water. But over time, and for reasons still uncertain, it became the dry, cold place it is today. As the water disappeared, a clue to the mystery of life on Mars may have been fossilized. About 16 million years ago, an immense asteroid crashed onto the surface with the power of more than 1 million hydrogen bombs. A huge chunk of the planet's crust, carrying the fossilized rock, was hurled into space. When humans were just beginning agriculture in the Stone Age, the rock impacted Earth. Buried in Antarctica for some 13,000 years, a fragment of it was finally discovered in 1984. The rock was confirmed to be of Martian origin and given to a team of scientists led by David McKay, a NASA geochemist. Benefited by new technology only in existence since the early 1990s, McKay's team began to observe unusual features within the rock.
I've spent many nights until midnight in the laboratory looking at this rock because I was just too excited to go home.
I can honestly say that evening I had difficulty sleeping because of the thoughts of what this could be.
The scientists came to the realization of what they were actually looking at.
Within this rock are pictures of strange structures, some of which we have interpreted as microfossil forms from Mars.